Hey, 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 oh. It's all part of us. We can all choose love.
I was introduced to this class in May of 2016 and was absolutely floored at the attitude and maturity of the kids in the class. This school is blue collar, and I would call it on the rough side, maybe even at risk, which makes this transformation even more amazing. Chrislyn, the teacher, will tell you her story in a few moments, but I wanted to share some pictures and comments on the year they had by committing themselves to choosing love. This could happen anywhere or everywhere, as the kids got it. They understood that carrying anger only hurt them, that forgiving was the only thing that made sense. They learned that practicing gratitude and compassion for others created in them a sense of belonging, a sense of well-being, and peace. These kids will go on in their lives with this knowledge that love is the answer, and it will have a major impact on them. We can do this everywhere. It's not hard. In fact, the lessons are simple, and the teachers learn along with the kids. And all of the teachers involved in this have come away with life-changing knowledge. My daughter is dedicating her life to spread this simple concept. You can be happy and peaceful. You can forgive as she has done. We have drugs and many other forms of self-abuse that last a lifetime and create untold pain. We treat these problems in society with prisons to hold the criminals, drug rehabs, the war on drugs, the war on bullying, etc., etc. I call this treating the symptoms. We, of course, spend billions doing this, so I'm asking, why don't we treat the problem, the way we think, the lack of love in our society, in the world, the lack of compassion? We can change this, and the answer is choosing love, as these kids and their story demonstrate. The cost of this program to schools is nothing, and it is for all grades, pre-K through 12. The overall cost of doing this is minuscule compared to the end savings in both money and lives.
I can remember my students' reactions when we heard about the Sandy Hook tragedy. Many of my students come from challenging environments where the household structure is not ideal. Consequently, the kids rely heavily on their teachers for direction, especially in times of uncertainty. I knew right then the importance of giving my kids the tools to handle life's adversities and sustain a nurturing environment. After reading Scarlett's book, Nurturing Healing Love, A Mother's Journey of Hope and Forgiveness, I decided to share this with my students. As a class, we decided the most sincere way we could help was to make a pledge. A simple pledge to choose a loving thought over an angry thought. This commitment transformed our classroom in a way we could never imagine. My classroom became a different place, and my students became different people. Attitudes improved, students felt more connected to one another, and they began resolving conflicts in a more peaceful and mindful way. As a class, we participated in the state of Connecticut's second annual Social and Emotional Learning Awareness Week by creating a mural showcasing the 4 main character values taught in the Choose Love Enrichment program. My students were able to share their personal stories of resilience, and I was amazed by their newfound ability to share their triumphs over adversity. Because these stories were so powerful, the mural was chosen to be on display at our nation's capital. Incorporating social and emotional learning into my classroom has made me a better teacher and a better human being. I'm excited for you to begin using the Choose Love Enrichment program, and I look forward to hearing your stories of success.
This speech was originally created as an assignment for my public speaking class. Our teacher, Ms. Petty, wanted us to create a persuasive speech that also doubled as a call to action. Today I want to talk to you what I believe is a rising epidemic in today's society: suicide. I picked this topic because I myself have contemplated suicide, and I believe if it wasn't for one woman, Scarlett Lewis, I would not be here today. Scarlett has taught me how to choose love, and you can save someone's life if you choose love.
Now, if the idea of teaching kids they can choose love may seem difficult, or may even seem something that cannot be done, I have a short clip for you on a far harder audience.
Together, Scarlett and JT are also taking Jesse's message into prisons in the hope that they might reach some of the most potentially violent men in society.
A lot of people had jumped on the anti-gun, which is great, but in my mind, that's a symptom of a fearful society, right? And I thought what really started this tragedy was an angry thought at some point in Adam Lanza's head that escalated. This angry thought in this little boy's head that he didn't have the tools or the nurturing environment to handle, right? So anger feels bad. And so at some point he did what a lot of us do, and I still sometimes do, we blame someone, right? Because I'm sure everybody in here has somebody who, hurt you terribly. It's just a choice to forgive them. It's just a choice. Then it's a process.
The way I was brought up in the streets is like, let's say you were to hurt one of my friends or somebody that I love, my first thought is going to get you, hurting you right back. My question to you is like, how do you do it? How do you tell yourself like, you know what, it's okay?
If I wanted to hurt someone because they hurt me, then when does it stop? Then you hurt someone and they hurt someone and you're in this negative, revolving thing that doesn't end.
I've been living in fear because of the life I chose. But if you was able to cope with losing a son, I can do it.
I have the same murderous thoughts sometimes. I'm not above that. But I have the same choice and the same willpower and determination that you guys have. You guys have it within you. You just have to access it and maybe even know that it's there and that you have that choice.
A lot of people have that fear of interacting with individuals who have lived this type of lifestyle, been exposed to guns and violence and I mean, for you to come in, that's life-changing right there. I mean, that's awesome.
I don't judge you guys for having guns because you live in a fearful world. You know what I mean? And you feel like you need those for protection. I don't judge you for that. I just want you to choose love instead of revenge.
It amazed me in the discussion we had how many people, just because of your story and your message, were rethinking the behaviors they've done. And not just rethinking the behaviors they've done, but literally coming up and saying, maybe I'm not gonna behave this way going forward. And I thought that was one of the most powerful things because some of us in here have legitimate street credentials, and these are people who you've maybe saved lives, literally multiple lives. And I think just your message and you coming here, before you got here, you had done that. Now with you being here, we're all rethinking something in our lives, and I want to thank you for that as well.
You guys are my Choose Love movement ambassadors, if you want to be. Seriously, I mean, that's what I want. That's my goal.
Truly nurturing, healing, love have to be part of all our lives, and it can be taught if teachers are properly trained. The purpose of the Jesse Lewis Choose Love Foundation is really to spread that message of social and emotional learning. We know that reading, writing, and arithmetic are not all that school teaches, and that in fact students can do better in those academic subjects if they absorb the lessons, life lessons of social emotional learning. I am truly grateful to Scarlett and her family for this truly wonderful work. So inspiring, so heartening, giving meaning to so many lives. And that's why I am a strong and proud advocate of social emotional learning. The work that we're doing in Washington, D.C. is magnified manyfold around the country by the Jessie Lewis Choose Love Foundation, and I thank her for her courage and strength and for her friendship.
The content of the lessons is based on research on emotional intelligence, character values, resilience, post-traumatic growth, neuroscience, positive psychology, mindfulness, and social and emotional learning. The whole child, mind, heart, and body, is supported through these lessons. It's important to empower children with the choice to choose love. We need to have a consistent message of compassion at home and in schools. We want to positively impact your classroom climate and ultimately your school and community. These lessons should make your job easier, the teaching experience even more rewarding, and positively impact you as an educator on a personal level as well. Thank you for choosing love for yourself and for your students, and for helping cultivate a safer, more peaceful, and loving world.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, oh. It's all part of us. We can all choose love.